Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Hello to our listeners out there. We're back, Chris, and we are going to be quite a far-reaching, ranging podcast and discussion covering Married at First Sight Australia Season 8, and we are going to go through, not all the points, but we've been watching episodes 1 through to 8. Now, Chris, the only way we're going to be able to do this is couple by couple. So who's first up?
Well, there's been some controversial couples, Dave, that at the start of the series, I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this person. And then as it's gone on, I've completely swung the other way. So one of the ones that I want to talk about is Sam and Cameron, Dave. So Sam's the lady, she's got 2 kids from a previous relationship. Cameron's the big gearhead gym guy, he's a bit of a, beefcake. Completely incompatible, Dave, from the get-go. Cameron, at every opportunity, is getting called out by Sam. I think she's got a point. I think some of the things she's raised are valid. However, I'm not a fan of Sam either. I think she's a moaning fucker, if I'm being honest. And I think that nobody is going to make her happy. And I think Cameron's played the game. Look, there's something going on, and we'll talk about it. I think something's definitely gone on with this Coco, who's with the other guy, Sam. So we've got Sam the lady and Sam the man, Dave. Wasn't intended to be a stupid little pun there, but there you go. But Cameron and this Coco have got some, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, Sam and Cameron just, again, completely incompatible, Dave, as a couple. I mean, what do you think about their journey? Because it ended up, by the time they got to the apartment together, around about episode 7, they're in separate apartments, aren't they? It's like, it's literally game over for these two.
Yeah, I think, well, let's start off, Chris, because we gave the UK matchmakers a bit of a hard time covering that season. And I think the Australian ones, the matchmakers are just as crap because Sam and Callum will never work. You could see, he had that attraction to her straight away. She looked absolutely stunning in the dress and everything. As soon as she mentioned she's got 2 kids, whoa, yeah. he fucking put up those walls really quickly. But it's like, surely in this whole discussion when they're matching people up, they must be going off a base set of questions as well. And you look at Callum, I think he does kind of want to get with someone, but someone who's at the same point in life. He wants to meet someone who he can get on with and everything, settle down, get married and everything, start a family. He's not looking for a ready meal family. He's not looking to marry someone and, acquire 2 kids as well. Other people out there might be, but he's clearly not one of those people. And I just think it's, it's just a shit match that will not work from the start. I mean, I haven't made my mind up on Sam just yet. I think the pair of them are incredibly opinionated, and neither of them actually listens to the other person or has an ounce of empathy where they can put themselves in the other person's shoes. It needed the matchmaker bloke to actually, he probably had some rules there. He was like, right, you talk, now you shut up and tell, he's asking them how they feel and stuff. So eventually they started to understand each other. But the way they kind of handle that confrontation by left to their own devices is they just talk and don't listen. And you can see why she's, Sam has got these hang-ups. I mean, she married a much older bloke when she was a kid, basically. Yeah. And then she reckons the husband was cheating on her for 5 years. She found all these fucking SIM cards and everything where he'd been having all these affairs with different people. I mean, fuck me, that's going to leave some scars, isn't it? But and the last thing I'll say, Chris, so you watched Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, haven't you? And they've got that, the dude character where you got basically Ryan Reynolds and he's all buff and everything. I can't look at Callum without thinking is it Callum or Cameron?
Cameron.
It's Cameron. I keep saying Callum, don't I? Thinking Love Island. Cameron, he looks like a jacked up Simon Pegg. So I can't not see Simon Pegg when I see him. But
that's a good reach, that actually, Dave. I'll give you that. I thought you were going to say Ryan Reynolds. Like, it looks fuck all like Ryan Reynolds, but no.
but it's like you've got Ryan Reynolds in the buffed up suit, and it's like you wondered where the fuck I was going with that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was thinking he looks nothing like him. But no, what I will pick up on slightly is Cameron was out of order when he spoke to Sam. And I've got to say, some of the dialogue from some of the couples in this series, I've loved it. They're so fucking blunt, Dave. They don't give a fuck. You know, in the UK one, yeah, there's a few people like we questioned Frankie. We had, that Jordan was a bit of a gobshite. There was a few, but none of them were directly like going at each other and like really calling each other out. Like, well, I'm telling the truth. What do you want me to do? Lie? In the UK, we obviously have this like thing where we're slight. I know Nikita wasn't, Dave. She's probably should have been the Australian one because she was as blunt as like these. But I've really enjoyed that bluntness. And I think Cameron said to her, like, "You're not my type. I want someone who goes to the gym, basically, looks after themselves." And she's like, "Well, I'm not. That's not going to be me." And that isn't Sam or Cameron's fault. Cameron's delivery was terrible, and it was wrong the way he said it to her because he completely knocked her confidence, like you say. But I was like, these fucking, and it's John Aitkins, the guy, Dave. So I've actually got the presenters. So it's useless on the UK one. So the presenters are John Aitken, Mel Schilling. She's the one who's in the UK one.
Yeah.
And then you've got Alessandra Rampola as well. So John, I wasn't sure of, and I've got to call him again, Dave. It's all for TV because I can't see any of the connections. Initially, I know there's possibly a couple, but it's great TV. But you're thinking, just fucking with people's heads here.
Yeah, and I think I should let go of that preconception that they're actually trying to match them up for genuine reasons, as opposed to just creating some great TV. Because, like I say, you only have to have about 20 questions. What's your type and this and that, and his is right there. And it's like, well, what we're going to do, we're going to have someone like that in the experiment, but they're going to be married to someone else, and that will create some great drama, Chris.
Very good, Dave. Very good.
I mean, they are just a bunch of bastards, aren't they? I mean, and this isn't even the worst couple.
No, it's not. It's not, to be honest. Now, talking, very good segue this, Dave. It's almost like we start to flow off each other, and we've done hundreds of podcasts. But Coco and Sam. So when we first introduced to Coco and Sam, Coco's an ex-policewoman turned, she was severely hurt, changed the body. She's a proper gym bunny now. She looks really good, really looks after herself. Sam is none of them. He's a clothes designer. He doesn't like to be called an entrepreneur. He likes to be called a hustler, Dave. And when it first come on, I thought, I don't like this Coco. She's a fucking bit of a dick. Too loud. She's typical reality TV fodder. Really, she had a bit of the, just a bit of a arse about her way. It was like, look at me, look at me. As it went on, I've actually quite liked Coco, even though she's very dramatic and in the dates thing. And when they were with the expert, she was very theatrical. It was all fucking Broadway bollocks, the way she was delivering it. But Sam is an absolute see you next Tuesday. What an absolute cock he has been, Dave. I think he has been probably one of two people on this show where I'm literally want to throw the remote through the screen.
Yeah. And I tell you what, when I look in the mirror, Chris, I want to see what Sam sees.
Yeah.
Because he fucking thinks he's like Brad Pitt in his prime or something. He's got this preconceived idea about, he can get these great looking women and they have to have big boobs.
Yeah.
And his last girlfriend, he dumped her because she didn't have big boobs. And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I think Coco is really pretty. Yeah. I think she looks great. Like you, I thought, she's going to really piss me off. And I do think she was a bit over the top. But I think it really shows that if you're in a kind of toxic relationship, if you're not with someone who can, you can be the best person you can be with them, then it really has a quite negative impact, because you can see that over time, over this last couple of weeks, and who knows what the real time is, but she's just got smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
You know, she's just been eroding that, or he's been eroding that kind of confidence from her. And she's been trying to hold back a bit more and everything. And he's just a massive fucking bellend, Chris. Absolute prick. And like I say, there's another one who's really the villain of the piece. But yeah, he's just been constantly throwing out the digs, but he can't take them back the other way. So when they got the whole, rate the other men and women, and where your other half fits into that, when she put him about 7th or something, he proper, did not like that at all, and it goes into that passive aggressive mode where he's like, obviously I'm not bothered, but I do think it is a bit childish, sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, not bothered. Bullshit. Now, Chris, the only thing that stops me really going even harder in on it is I just wonder if he's on the spectrum himself. Just that, that lack of self-awareness, that kind of complete lack of empathy and understanding some of the things that you're saying and the impact that can have on the other person. I'm not saying he is. I just, it's the only way I can rationalize some of his behavior.
Yeah, and I think he could be right, because he has no self-awareness, does he, of what he's saying. Any criticism thrown at him, he absolutely cannot take it, but he loves to dish it out. I mean, like you say, poor Coco there, and she was right. She'd had enough, and she was like, hang on a minute. And she only put him 7th, Dave, on purpose behind Patrick, just because she would have put him top. And I think he was just an arse, an absolute arse. There's got to be something. And if it is, then it's shame on the producers, Dave, because I think I agree with that. I do think that he has some social awkwardness about him. It's not an excuse, because he was bluntly rude and nasty to her. But it was the way, and I think you made a great point, it was the way he reacted to the criticism when all he'd done. Yeah. The whole relationship was criticized. A really pretty girl who looks after herself, who's got a great body. Yeah, her personality's a bit wacky out there, but she turned into a nice person, and he literally character assassinated her. I mean, we've seen it over 2 weeks. This was obviously filmed over 2 or 3 weeks, I would have thought, to get to this point in the show, but really did tear strips off her, and there was no need for it at all. I mean, it's like, I want a girl with big boobs. And I'm like, it's not you're not fucking Morag off the UK one. I've ordered a mail order bride.
It's not Mrs. Potato Head.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can't just stick an arse on her or a pair of fucking knockers on her or something. You can't
knockers.
Matron, but you know what I mean? Though?
Carry on.
Carry on, Phil. No, but you know what I mean? Like, Dave, if you could do that, fuck me, I'd be like fucking Dirk Diggler and have a fucking snake down there. But it doesn't work like that, does it? It's one of them things where the person you are with, you love the personality. The looks are there. You want to be attracted to them. But there's more to that in a person. And it's totally unrealistic. But great TV. Look, it's great TV.
Fantastic.
It's fucking stormed off and everything. Even Melissa had to interject and say to him, look, you need to... Alessandra, she had to interject and say, Sam, are you not aware when they had these face-to-face like dates with the experts, and I'm doing the quoting fingers, fucking experts, my arse, and she's there talking, and she was right to. She was like, but you've been a fucking absolute bellend, just own it. So we'll see, because we're at that point with them where it's like literally make or break. The one thing I'd say, and it really is weird, is because one of them says they want to stay and the other one wants to go, they stay. Now, surely they should both have the same. I just find that's just a way of
sounds
keeping
like prison, doesn't it?
It's like he's just trying to keep anybody in the show because they're like Cameron and Sam. he said stay, she said leave. And the next minute she's like, oh, I'm going to have to clean the apartment. He's coming over. And I'm like, what is going on? But anyway, sorry. So I know we've labored on them a little bit, but strange couple, really strange couple. I hope she gets the results. Now, the reason I brought these in at the start, something's going on with Coco and Cameron, because she had her head in her hands when they said they were going to stay for another week. She was gutted that Cameron was with Sam, and he was the same reaction with Coco. Where has that come from, Dave? That's not just something. They both go to the gym. They are probably the most compatible people, and I'm going to do Love Island on paper. Love the gym, all the stuff they're into is what they're into, and opposites attract. But that surely is something so important to the both of them, their body image. And I think there's more to come with them. I don't know anything, but there's chemistry there, and we'd see a little bit of an allude of a conversation, don't we, in the next episode?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that, they've had that conversation and what have you, and all the stuff on camera, but we know there's plenty of stuff off camera as well. And I just think that, Chris, they probably met up in the bloody apartment gym or something, because it did seem a bit of a stretch, didn't it? It's like Coco's going to reach out to Cameron because, Cameron knows Sam from home, so she wants a different opinion. It's like, really? That's why the cameras are there, is it?
That's brilliant. No, that's so true. That's so true, Dave. It is very convenient, but no, I agree with that. So moving on slightly, Dave. We've got James, the millionaire, Lamborghini at the ceremony. We've got Joanna, who is probably like me and you, shops at Primarni, likes a bit of home bargains, Dave, B&M's, Aldi, whatever. And this guy, and they are compatible. He was quite good with her at the start. He was trying to be the money, but then I think as it's gone on, like, he got really jealous. I mean, you touched on it before, but this game, and I know we haven't gone through all of the couples, the game where they had to rate everyone. Look, you know this and I know this. If you're rating your missus,
there is only one.
Anyway, exactly.
There is only one place.
This, if Sam's there and she's got, King George Clooney, Brad Pitt, well, she probably will put me fucking down the pegging line. But
no, it's not quite the same rules for you. The other way around.
That's very true, Dave. Very true. But I would always put Sam top of the tree, Dave, because you've got to. And even Sam was watching it, going, and he was Bryce and everything. But James again, he did it. Joanna, then James got really, really fucking jealous because she picked Jake. Everyone seems to like Jake. He's a good-looking lad. It's a shame Bex doesn't.
Not everyone, Chris.
Not everyone. I won't talk about that. But he really got offended. And then she's like, ooh. Yeah. And the more we watched it, the way the couples phrased everything and picked different people than their own partner, I love that game. It was absolutely. It looked like it did. It looked like a throwaway game, but it turned into proper drama, Dave.
It should be just a fait accompli, shouldn't it? It should just be, okay, they rate these other people 1 to 8 or however many there are, and then your partner is top. That is it. It's a boring game, isn't it? Oh no, Chris. They all want to be, or not all of them, but some of them, they're just being honest. That's all they're doing, and they want to be completely honest with their partner. There's not always time to be completely honest, right? If fucking, like you said there, if you're rating everyone and you've got Margot Robbie here, you got Jennifer Aniston over here, it's like, no, look, Sam is definitely top, right? It's just not even a fucking thought process, whether to not put a top at all. And it's the fact that they're clinging to this idea that you have to be 100% honest all the time. It's bollocks. Just fucking, just put them top. But the thing is, I'm not convinced about Joanna and James. I mean, they're closer in age, aren't they? But there's a weird interaction where she was obviously just in a bit of a bad mood or something. On the horses.
Yeah.
Which was last week, and basically she was she just wasn't feeling it. And then that makes James like try to fix it. You know, he wants to G her up and make her happy and whatever. And you can see on her face, it's just like, will you just fuck off? So yeah, I'm not convinced about but that kind of reaction, that jealousness was a bit weird. And I think fair play to James, because he did sort of call himself out that, you know, he finds it difficult to trust people. And I think, you know, the cars that he drives around in, oh, really, James? Oh, some people are only, you know, trying to get into your car and stuff and use you a bit. Fucking really? Shocker. So, you know, I don't know. I can't have too much sympathy for him there, but they don't seem that compatible to me. They're not quite winding each other up like some of the other couples.
No, I don't think so. I think he's used to a certain type of lifestyle. She doesn't think she's good enough for him. And somewhere in the middle, they have to meet. And I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, another couple that I'm not really bothered about is Alana and Jason. By the sounds of it, they're doing a lot of shagging, Dave, for their words. Yeah. They're really getting intimate. Pretty good together. Nice couple. They may go on to something at the end. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're not really setting for reality TV stars. They're just going about the business, as what we've seen on the edit, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that sexual chemistry, isn't there? I'm just not sure how much else there is. We've not seen enough of them, I guess. It does my head in a little bit, Chris, when someone like Alana is just like, oh, I don't want to be seen as just a hot teacher. It's like, I don't think you should be calling yourself that. It just seems like so fucking, arrogant to me. But they seem to be getting on. Dull as dishwater, though, to be honest, Chris. It was only, the only bit of interesting drama was just how fucking Sam was, he had his tongue out basically at the dinner party, didn't he, over her?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I said it to Sam, Dave, and I know you're going to agree with me. Where the fuck were these teachers when we were fucking in school, Dave? Because we never had anyone looking like that. Just walking around the school with a fucking top down. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, there's no way we had teachers fucking. This is
right. This is bad.
This is going to go down the bad way, isn't it?
All right, go on.
My fucking teachers look like Jeff Capes, the strongman. When I was a kid, I never had anybody like.
I was going to say, I mean, kids are arseholes, aren't they? I know certainly in my school they were, or we were. Can't exclude myself from that. And one of the teachers I remember, did look like someone famous, and we used to just call her grot bags.
Yeah.
That was the type of teacher, in the 80s, wasn't it? So, yeah, they definitely weren't around, Chris.
Right, so we then had Belinda and Patrick. So Belinda's the lovely girl, unfortunately, but a terrible upbringing. She was bullied at school. The dickhead she went to school with had a fucking website.
That is dedication to bullying that
is terrible. I was watching it thinking, I hope you absolute fucking twats watching this are ashamed of yourself, and you can look at your kids and go, that was actually me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, you horrible people. That poor girl was just absolutely, she probably, Dave, at the end of a tether, like suicidal or whatever. I just felt so sorry for her. But then Patrick as well. I think you dropped the line. I missed the line initially, but the line, you telling me what he said about why he's on this show, wasn't it, Dave? I think, wasn't you the guy?
No, that wasn't him. That was that was Russell. That.
Oh, right.
We'll
Russell,
tackle that one
when
we go on about Russell.
Sorry, I thought it was Patrick.
No, I think, Chris, I love this couple, right? These are my favourite couple. They're almost, too nice to be on this show, to be quite honest. They're both kind of awkward, but they're awkward with each other. They're going to move at a kind of glacial pace, but I think that's absolutely fine. I think, these two you can genuinely see are matched for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, I'm wobbling a little bit on that because he seemed to get fucked off at the idea of having fucking unicorns or something on the bed sheets. It's just like, look, just pick what you want. But no, I just think they look absolutely great together. And but Patrick, at times I'm just like, look, sometimes less is more. When they're in the bath, Chris, and like he's got a feet, and it's like a very close, intimate environment. You can see both of them aren't really comfortable. And Belinda's approach is to like clam up. Patrick's approach is to spout verbal diarrhea. So he starts like clapping with the feet, and it's like, it's very nice clapping with the feet and stuff. It's just like, what are you doing? It's like he has no idea what to say. So just the words are just spilling out of his mouth. And in the end, she just fucking gets up and gets out. But they are brilliant. I really do like this couple.
Yeah, I do. And I think, he took it a bit personally, didn't he? But it was just weird. It was a tiny fucking bath as well, Dave. It was like, yeah, it's not really working. And they've got clothes on as well. So we didn't, you know what I mean? Obviously, they've got it for the cameras. You wouldn't do fucking fully naked. But yeah, I'm interested in them. I agree with you. They've been one of the funny ones, just like a normal couple who are really into each other. However, Dave, Beth and Russell. Now, Russell is the dad. He's like an old bloke, isn't he? Who's got his own line of jokes that are just not funny at all, right? He tried to kiss Beth. No. I mean, though, like I've laughed at him because I'm cringing, going, "Oh fucking hell!" I'd probably drop them in, but Beth is not finding him funny at all. He's trying everything. He's revealed a little bit about his past. Why he's in this situation? He was really nice, with dead respectful. All he's got is the side cheek, Dave. She was crying within 2 episodes, going, "What the fuck have you done?" And I'm thinking, especially it's again, you're a bunch of wankers, you three. You're just picking anybody. I said it before. It's pin a fucking tail on a donkey with these, with their eyes closed, because they're just picking anyone. But what a completely incompatible couple.
Yeah. And the thing is, you look at Patrick, Russell, and I think he's a good-looking bloke. I don't think he's like a particularly bad-looking bloke at all. And then when he's getting interviewed in that first episode that he appears on, and they're saying, why have you come on this show? And he's like, well, I look better with my shirt on. I can't get on any of the others. If you stick me on an island, I can't be getting my shirt off. So I was thinking, this guy is pretty funny. Yeah, he's coming out with all the sort of dad jokes, and he's convinced he's this great chef, but he basically barbecues steaks. That seems to be the start, middle, and end of his chefery. And he doesn't know what a fucking piece of salmon is, or doesn't like avocados or anything. He's like, oh yeah, just eat meat. I think he's pretty funny, but she is just not. From day one, she is like, this guy is a prick. And maybe, if I was partnered up with someone like that, maybe you would think the same. You would find the joke less funny. But I think it's brilliant. I think he's genuinely funny. He seems like a nice bloke. But yeah, she's just not having it at all, is she?
No, they are not going to be together, these two. Now, we were going to talk about the main, I think they're more of a baddie than Sam. I think we should save them till last, Dave. So the next couple is Bryce and Melissa. Now, Bryce, he was the one that had me in stitches at the game, Dave. He was the one who fucked up the let's rate your partner game. And he was genuinely spending so much time on where he was going to put his missus. No, he did all of them. Then he was like, oh, I've got to put you in there. And he's like, yeah, you're fourth. And it's like, and this girl, obviously, Melissa's been through so much shit. And I felt dead sorry for her, right? I really did feel sorry for her. I thought, he's a prick. Bryce was slagging her off. He said, at the dinner thing at the date thing with the specialists, he went, well, she's not got blue eyes. And I'm like, you are a fucking knobhead. An absolute, he basically said to her, she didn't have luckily you've got blonde hair. I think the only thing he said she's got going for her. She's in tears. She'd not been in a relationship for 12 years. And I kept thinking, this is weird. Why has she not been in a relationship? She's early 30s. I don't get it. I was all in for Melissa. And then, Dave, a couple of episodes ago, she drops in there. I'm basically a booty call for my ex-husband, which I don't believe. I never believe when he comes to see me every couple of years or whatever, was married. Okay, Pinocchio, where's Geppetto? Bull fucking shit, Dave. She knows exactly what this guy, whether he's married or not. So even though Bryce was a cock, I was like, oh, Melissa, don't play this. I've not been in a relationship for 12 years, bollocks. You have been the woman on the side for a long time with your ex-husband. So I don't know about you, Dave, but I was sort of out then. I was all for her for the week and a half. Then when I heard that, I was like, oh, you should deserve each other.
I'm not quite with you on that. I'm not chucking Melissa in the bin just yet. I think I kind of felt more sorry for her in that aspect. I don't quite believe the whole thing about the marriage, but it just sounds like it's not like he was popping over there for a every other weekend or something for a booty call, is it? I think, they wouldn't speak for ages, and then maybe he lives out of town or something like that. Oh, I'm in the area. Should we meet up for a drink and whatever? I think she's just never quite gotten over him. And part of that not getting over him is frequently coming back for a quick scene too, So I just think...
You two, you just slated me for fucking saying knockers. We've definitely been watching Carry On films, haven't we? Fucking hell.
Hold on. Matron.
I was going to do
that. So yeah, I'm on the fence with Melissa. I can kind of empathize with that situation a bit more. She's obviously very, very hurt. It's that first love thing, isn't it? And she's just never really gotten over it. Now, Bryce, though, on the other hand, is a fucking prick, Chris.
Yes,
again, he's the one who clings to this kind of, oh, well, I'm just being honest. But that whole interaction, they'd already fucked, right? And then it comes up the honesty box about, am I your type? And he's like, nah, not really. And I thought, well, she's not ugly. It's like, is that your compliment, that she's not ugly? And it was just such a fucking cutting thing. And I think it said a lot, to be honest, about Melissa, that she ends up being hurt by it, but then she just kind of excuses him for it. She makes up an excuse like, well, he's just being honest, wasn't he? No, he was being a cock.
Yeah.
He's doing it under the guise of being a nice guy, but he was being an absolute cock in saying that. Fuck me, what a horrendous thing to say to someone, anyone. And yeah, so I just think, the only tiny little thing that I'm giving Bryce a bit of respect for is, who was he calling out? Was it Bryce calling out Sam? Yeah. You're saying you're being a dick, mate, or a dickhead. So he gone.
People in glass houses, fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I was like, well done for saying that. You're still a fucking bellend, though. So yeah, I don't know. I just think and I thought he was going to be the only one who placed, the Melissa fourth in the rate someone, but a few of them ended up doing it, didn't they? But yeah, he comes across like he's such a nice guy. And when Melissa told him about, that whole situation about being that regular booty call and whatever, he was so judgy. And I'm like, you don't even like the fucking girl. And you're on your you're on your moral high ground. You've confessed to like cheating on your ex-girlfriend and stuff. And you're talking about someone who is single and just has the occasional shag with their ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, and no matter what I think of Melissa, Dave, it's fuck all to do with Bryce anyway. Yeah. So even if she'd fucking had 15 affairs before she comes on this show, admits to him and that, it's nothing to do with him. As long as she's faithful to him then, as long as she's in the moment, there's a connection. What does it matter in the past? He got offended like he was the ex-husband or something. It was fucking bizarre. I must admit, his reaction was all over the place. However, Booker and Brett, Dave. Now, Booker's the singer. Great career by the looks of it. Massive crowd she's playing to and everything. Really talented girl. Brett's the guy who looks like he stepped off some 1970s cop show. That moustache is horrendous.
I was thinking he stepped off a Spitfire.
Yeah, well, yeah, spiffing old chap. But yeah, they don't look compatible. There was a few rumblings in the relationship, but they did get physical towards the end of this last week. So there was a bit of something between them. You know, and he was trying to play the guitar about as good as I can play it, Dave.
Oh, fuck me, that was terrible, wasn't it? I was like, stop it, you're hurting everyone's ears here. I don't know if they're incompatible. I thought they were quite compatible. I think, Chris, I don't understand how Booker is not fucking snapped up already. She's absolutely stunning. She seems quite down to earth. Seems she's got a fucking cool job. I don't know. It's a bizarre one for me, but I think Brett, you know, because he's a bit quirky, isn't he? He had his lovely sort of satin. Oh no, it's not satin, was it? It was like a velvet kind of textured top on, wasn't it, for the wedding? You know, he looks striking straight away. You know, he's not just your run of the mill kind of Aussie rules player or something like that. So I just think the fact that he was a bit quirky would have probably, you know, ticked some boxes for Booker. And she did say, even in week one, that she quite fancies it. And I must admit, I thought they probably had been a bit physical before they said they were. So, yeah, no, I think this is a good couple.
Interesting, Dave. I'm not convinced. Now, let's get to the big bad, Dave. The baddie for me of the whole 2 weeks. So we've got this couple. We've got Jake, ex-Aussie Rules player, suffered, unfortunately, with mental health, had to retire from it, Dave, and basically created a charity off the back of it. Seems like a great guy. Usually when you do, I'm not saying 100%, but usually when you've got someone like that, you've had that sort of come to Jesus moments in your life, you know, and you've got to sort of change your whole outlook. All his speeches in the VT was fantastic. I thought, you know what, this is a really genuinely nice guy. He's a good-looking guy. He's the guy that most of the girls put as number one in when it was rate your partners. You know, a couple of the girls weren't as cutting as the guys, but a couple of them did say, well, it's between you and Jake. This is a great guy, speaks well, great personality, and he's really good-looking. Bex, on the other hand, well, he made the mistake of finding her attractive, Dave, on a show where they get married at first sight. At first sight, that's the name of the show. He sort of went in for a bit of a hug, stroke kiss. Mortified by it. She was mortified by it. I'm thinking, have you seen the memo? Do you know what fucking show you're on? And from that moment on, she was just turned off by him, completely turned off. And everything she said was just like morag and everything off the UK one. She was literally just tearing strips off him. And even when he's being consoling, they were very attentive. The specialists even said that, like, he's always reassuring her. She has been an absolute bitch with him, Dave. And with great TV, fantastic. But for me, she has been the ultimate baddie who even makes Sam look actually okay.
See, I'm thinking Sam and Bex are kind of on par with each other. I think they're both as bad as each other.
Oh, they're both terrible, yeah.
Yeah, I don't kind of have one over the other. But yeah, Bex is in a different way. Well, actually, no, it is in quite a similar way now I think about it. You know, they're both just constantly putting down their partners. And, you know, it's been irritating me how much Jake is kind of, again, he's been a bit of an apologist for her. You know, he's trying to be the one who's listening to her and stuff, and absolutely nothing wrong. You know, there's a lot of sportsmen and women who suffer from mental health problems. You know, it's just that intense, and to get to that elite level in the game, you know, the likes of Ricky Hatton, obviously, he's spoken about it, Freddie Flintoff, people like this, and especially when the sport goes away, that's when a lot of them sink into depression. So fair fucks to him for coming out and speaking about it and stuff. But fuck me, producers and matchmakers, do you want to put him with a worse fucking energy vampire, fucking ego sculptor, you know, or whatever it is, chipper away her at? Yeah, she's just fucking horrible, Chris. I mean, she has got so much baggage. She's got more baggage than anyone else, I think, on this show, because she's come in with a preconceived notion. And I was confused after that first episode when she had a massive problem with him. Like, she says, oh, he's just looking at me like a piece of meat. He turned round and he was like, wow. And I was thinking, is that not a good reaction? I don't understand. That was a good reaction, surely. And she just had a fucking sour face on her. That it was like the worst thing he could have done. And I don't know. I think she's carrying stuff from a lot of her previous relationships where maybe she's not been treated that well, but she has not even given Jake a chance. And the way she retells stories at like the dinner parties and get-togethers and stuff, it's like, oh, he's tried to stick his tongue down my throat. He fucking leaned over to try and kiss you and you fucking dodged it. All right. But that becomes, it gets exaggerated. It's a bit more, isn't it? And retelling that story, it makes like fucking Jake sound like a sexual predator. I just think she's fucking horrible, Chris. And I'm glad I've given the matchmakers a bit of stick, but fair play to, what was the guy's name again?
Jake. Oh, John.
You said
John
it
Aiken.
before.
Yeah, John Aiken.
Fair play to him. He called it out. And I think he genuinely looked angry, because when they're sat on the sofa and that, and Bex is character assassinating Jake, and you can see Jake is still trying to be nice and hold it together, but he's just getting these relentless jabs and barbs thrown at him. And old John there says, I see one person with empathy in that, and it's not you. And he sort of really laid it down with her that, she has got a lot of baggage and she needs to fucking shape up or fuck off. But yeah, Chris, absolutely brilliant TV, but she is horrible. I mean, the thing is, she's that hung up about people objectifying her and, only wanting her for her looks. Well, I tell you what, it's good job you're fucking good looking, because you wouldn't get anyone with that fucking personality.
No, and I think you probably... I'm not doing a 180. I still think I think in my opinion, she's a bit worse than Sam in a different way. And I think that the stuff we talk about Sam being...
Your misogyny coming out again, isn't it?
Fuck you, Dave. Right. So, no, I'm talking about, we were talking about maybe he's on the spectrum. It doesn't excuse him. I'm not getting shit for this. It doesn't excuse him. You've already done me this week on Facebook. Don't fucking give me that. So, it doesn't excuse his behaviour, but if there is something where he is on the spectrum, I can sort of relate to that. And that's something that obviously he would need guidance on. Doesn't excuse him. He was horrible to her completely. Coco, it was disgusting. With Bex, it's like, and John was great. What I loved about John is I love Paul, and I've even said, like, we miss Paul. He's dead smooth. He's a great guy. But the English judges on the English show, I know she's also Melissa, but the English judges are a bit of a soft ass, really. They don't want to offend anyone. Even when Megan and Jordan were at it and they were cheating on the partners, the whole point of the show is not for this to happen. But we know that also they want that to happen to create a storyline and create people arguing and it kicking off. He was there. He didn't give a fuck. And you're right. I thought his delivery was brilliant. I'd not bat an eyelid with him. I thought they were all useless, about as much use as a chocolate fire guy, the three of them at picking couples. But he come into his own there and he really did stand up, as did Alessandra when she pulled Sam as well. They actually said, no, hang on a minute. You need to be aware of what you're doing. And he was right. He said, you're not interested, and straight away you're on the defensive. You're making the relationship. She loved all the stuff he was saying. And even Jake's there patting her leg. After it, he's patting her leg, like reassuring her after all this when she's just knocked him down again. And it's like, you deserve better. But amazing contestant, Dave, because it makes the show having people like that, without a doubt. And it would be fucking boring if they all stayed in and had the pipe and slippers every night, wouldn't it? We need a bit of cheating, a bit of a punch up and stuff. We need something. So I think it's all going towards a great finale for me.
Yeah, I think... we sort of love to hate it, don't we? Because in the moment when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, Jake, just fuck her off. Like, why are you constantly going back? And you're almost apologizing for her shitty, toxic behavior. Her body language, Chris, when they were at like the dinner party, she's not interested in him in the slightest. In fact, he might as well be a puppy who's just rolled in shit and then is trying to jump up for a fucking lick or something. She just can't fucking stand him. I don't know where that analogy was going, by the way.
Don't mind that.
But he's constantly, like you say, he's trying to reassure her, check she's okay and stuff. He is a fucking catch for someone, and she needs to sort her shit out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm completely with you, Dave. But amazing. So anyway, Mr. Horrocks, brilliant analysis of the first couple of weeks of Married at First Sight Australia. Really, really good. And I can't wait for some more. I really, really can't. And, we are going to announce, Dave, aren't we, that, I am actually going away on a holiday to the Greek Isles. So we are going to be slightly behind, but we have got another show in the back pocket, haven't we?
We do. So this had been rumbling on for about a week, Chris. And I think it's because we hadn't recorded in a little while as well. So we were kind of trying to figure out what we were doing next. And we did have a Patreon poll as well. So people voted on what we were going to cover next. And the answer came out as Love Island. And then the PTSD kicked in, didn't it? It's like, how are we going to do a fucking daily one again? And then it's like, but more and more people were coming out and saying, oh, aren't you doing Love Island Australia? And so we absolutely will cover that. We're are we a week behind now? I think we're end of the first week right now, aren't we? And so I think we will cover it, but with you going away, we're not going to start it and then do what we did before, where you're having to watch it and then we record as well, like each day, 6 days a week.
When I'm on holiday, you can't do that.
We'll wait till you're back, and then we'll sort of catch up, and then we'll figure out, do we try and cover week one, in one episode, so that we can actually catch up with the show and cover it real time, or do we go episode by episode, which is what we normally do? But we'll figure all that out when you're back.
Exactly. Now, thank you for being patient there, Dave, as well. And for everybody listening, I take the loss on that, guys. You know how much I love Love Island, but I can't be doing it when I'm sat by the pool, Dave, with me, my margarita or my cocktail of the day. You know what I mean? It's all inclusive. This is not happening. When we did it in the summer, I was in England, so it wasn't too bad to watch it and record, but I'm going to be on another timeline, Dave. I'm going to be trying to get the best suntan going so I hide all my wobbles, because as we know, when I come back off holiday, this is it now for me. This is the Chris Phelps reconstruction, Dave.
Yeah, of course it is. But just
oh, God.
just version 6.0. So just to let everyone know as well about our conversation that we were basically having, and it's like, no, Chris, look, you're on holiday, you can't do this. And it's like, yeah, I can't do this. But Sam and Jordan will be watching their soap, so I could watch it then. I wasn't even pushing you, but you're convincing yourself. It's like, yeah, I could do it. It's like, no, just fucking have your holiday and we'll sort it when you're back.
Because I've been messaging you going, Dave, I'm just going to nip upstairs for 15, 20 minutes. Can you record? I'll be getting battered, Dave. I will get battered for that. So no. You made the right decision. I'm glad you actually told me, who's actually the one going away. No, don't be stupid, mate. Because I was ready to sort of go, you know what? Let's throw another spanner in the works and make my life even harder when I'm on holiday. So no, Dave, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, mate. Oops, sorry,
Dave,
go on.
Sorry, before we go. Sorry, Dave. Big thanks to our Patreons, patreon.com/CD Reality Cast. As always, guys, if you want to contact us, I know it's not Chris and Dave. It's cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us at CD Realitycast and get over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's reality TV cast, where we've got all our good friends on there. Everyone badgering us for Love Island Australia, Dave. So that's where most of it's come. We've got our Patreons, have done it on our Discord channel. We've had little voting stuff, and that's all. Thank you. And we've had stuff through Twitter and all the other social media channels. So really, really good here. So today, the roll call of honour is Ken, Lucky Lulu Green, Lauren, Haley, Hennessy, Susan, Priscilla, Ed, Hannah, Dee Dee, Katie, Libby, Helen, Joanna, Zoe, Amy, Claire, Noreen, Jacqueline, Brianna, Helen, Lucy, and our newest Patreon is the wonderful Keith. So thank you so much to everybody for supporting us, and welcome, Keith, as well. Thanks for supporting us, mate. Really, really good here. So, Dave, I'm going to go off to pack my case, get my Speedos on, and I will be in full prep for my flight out of the UK, my friend.
Nice. Well, hopefully you don't send any pictures back with you and your Speedos.
No, that's not at the moment, no.
Of course, after your transformation, you can do. But...
Of course.
All right, mate. Well, it was good to do this. We haven't really done this before, have we? Like, covered a whole 2 weeks, and I know we just touched on the couples, but actually that wasn't bad. And so when we're covering Love Island, I think we might just sneak in a bit of the Bachelorette as well. But it's always good to jump on here and chat and see where we agree and disagree as well.
Exactly.
But thank you very much, sir, and thanks for listening out there, and we'll speak to you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye.